Oh, that ain't showing too bad in my leg. I think we in there. Like swimwear. Okay, Corey Chapman asked about the process, the means, the method, or the rating for judging the Rottweiler. First thing we have to understand is that there are different shows that take place here in the United States. There's primarily the AKC show, which falls up under the American Rottweiler Club, or the ARC. They show one way, and then there's what you call Seeger shows, or Seeger shows are the way that they show dogs in Germany, or close as they get to that way. The first thing that happens in judging a dog is that the dog must be registered, number one. And then number two, once it's registered with the registry, then it is registered with a club for a show. What you can enter the dog in depends on the age and the categories that the dog is eligible for. Okay? In our case, today we brought 3 puppies with us, and we had another partner here that had a puppy got from our kennel. So it's 4 puppies, all for 1 litter, 1 breeding. These puppies were 5 months old. And then we also brought Mecca, who is 20 months. So Mecca is in the intermediate class, and these 5-month-old puppies are in what we call puppy class. Okay? Now, when you are a puppy between the age of 4 to 9 months, the judge can rate you 4 different ways. What we all received today that took puppies in the ring, we received what is called the VP. VP means very promising. The only category of dogs that can get a VP rating is puppies. And once again, we dealt with puppies that are 4 to 9 months old. So they can be VP rated. VP means that this is an excellent dog. It is a promising dog. However, it has more development to do. And with respect to development, the dog can improve, okay? Can go up in terms of quality, or the dog can go down. So VP, very promising that when we look at this dog, it meets the criteria of a puppy that is within the standard, very, very much within the standard. And it also means that it looks like this puppy is going to have a bright history or a bright future in terms of its development. Okay, so the next thing that the puppy can get is a P. P means promising. It means that it is good, very good as a puppy. Not excellent, but very good as a puppy. And then there's an S, which is satisfactory. And then the last thing you get is a NP, which is not promising. A dog that we're probably saying is not going to be able to compete and win in the future. And as I said, these puppies are in their developmental stages. There's going to be a lot that's going to take place if the puppy is 4 months. And if the puppy is 9 months, you do have quite a bit of ways to go. Now, that's for the puppies. For the youth or the young puppy that is 9 months to 18 months, they can be V. V means excellent. They can be SG. SG means very good. They can be G, which means good. They can be S, which means satisfactory. Or they could be U, which means unsatisfactory. Now, there is we wouldn't call it a rating, but anytime somebody is DQ, DQ stands for disqualified, that means that there's something major going on with the dog, and that it does not meet the breed standard, and it is very likely that it will meet the breed standard in the future. Okay, so the disqualification can come from quite a few things. In the back of what the breed standard is, it talks about disqualifying faults. Aggressive or overly shy dog, any dog clearly showing physical or behavior abnormalities should be disqualified. Here are some other reasons. Distinct reversal of the sexes, whereas the male look feminine or feminine, bitch looks a bitch that looks masculine. Excuse me. The teeth overshot. We always talk about that. Overshot, undershot. What they call a wry mouth, lack of one incision or tooth, one canine or premortal, or one mortal. It means that if the dog is of age where it should have all his teeth in his mouth and is missing a teeth, that can be, you can look and see that it's genetically missing, that maybe it didn't come in, then that dog can be disqualified. Then there is the eye. Eutropia is in the eye, the yellow eye, different eye colors. The dog can be disqualified. Kink in the tail, ring tail, with strong lateral deviation. Hair being too long, like if the coat is too long or too wavy. Color, the dog which does not show the typical Rottweiler color of black and tan markings, white markings. So if the dog, sometimes you hear people talk about the red Rottweiler or the Rottweiler that is all black. How much was that?
Yours was 25. No, 23.
All right, okay, we'll take care. So those are some of the things. If the dog is disqualified, the dog does not get a rating. The dog is actually pushed out of the ring, and the dog does not get a rating at all. Okay. When the judge is judging, the judge has to look at the dog as a whole and in a real sense separating the parts to see how close is this dog to the breed standard. The closer the dog is to the breed standard, the higher the rating of the dog goes. Okay, so if you get an excellent and there are 5, 6, 7 dogs in the ring that are rated excellent because they meet the standard or the standard qualification to be the Rottweiler in terms of what the international standard is, then those dogs will be V-rated, but they will have a place. Best looking dog of 7 gets first place, second place, third place, fourth place. These places are usually rewarded with some type of medal, some type of trophy. But even though you have 4 dogs or 7 dogs in the ring, all of those dogs can be excellent and tight. Then the judge has to decide which one is the best. The best at the front, second best, third best, fourth best, so forth and so on. Okay? And that can go all the way to V infinity. As long as that dog is excellent and tight, it must be awarded the V rating. It is not necessary that a dog become or gets SG simply because there are multiple dogs in the ring that already fit the V or excellent category. The dog must be judged on its own merits, not by how many dogs are in the ring. Must be judged on its own merit. There is a standard that is accepted by the international community on what the Rottweiler should look like. Its feet, its eyes, its teeth, count of the teeth, the muzzle, scrotum or the raso, the ears, not only how big they are and the shape, but how do they sit, the top line or the back of the dog, the bottom line, the under part of the dog, the croup, which is the back, the loins, which runs between the rib cage and past the flank. So that loins, whether it's too long, too short, the feet of the dog, is the feet strong? Are they well arched? Is the nails black? Are the nails short? All of this goes into grading the dog. The zygomatic arch, as it was supposed to be, is the stop not too deep, but slopes off. Does the dog have a straight nasal bridge rather than what is called a Roman nose or a nose that's turned up? Dog must have a straight nasal bridge with open nostril passage. Why? Because this is a working breed. Okay? The hocks, the angulation of the dog, the front as well as the rear, everything is looked at, whether it has a natural tail, whether it has a dock tail, or whether the tail is set right, the pigmentation inside of the mouth, the color of it, not only having a scissor bite, but as the dog develops, all the teeth there, is the teeth straight. There's 42 teeth in the mouth with 20 at the top and 22 at the bottom. Are all of those teeth there? Are they inline and not all jagged? All of that is looked at. Okay? We had a dog at a previous show that we got rid of. He was SG because he is one of the Rottweilers that many people would like, but he has what you would call the big block and the little block. And that little block, or what you call the muzzle, was just a tad bit too short. If it is short, all of the 42 teeth has no room to fit in the mouth, and you're going to very likely have missing teeth at the bottom. Now, for those who are not into breeding or not into showing, that does not matter to them. But the show guys, the breed guys, they want to see 42 dentitions, 42 teeth, 20 at the top, 22 at the bottom. The upper incisors are slightly overlapping what's down. It's not too far out there. It's not back. It's not here, what is called the level bite. Teeth are not crossed, which is called what we typically call the cross bite. So everything about that dog is analyzed, even how it walks, how it runs. What is a gait? The gait is supposed to be what? Is it a gallop? No, it's a trot. It's a trot. They're looking at how far the front feet and the back feet overextends across each other in movement. Is the back straight? Okay? Then when you go down, when the dog goes down, the judge is looking at the back end of the dog, the angulation, the muscle tone, the reach of the dog. Does the dog move freely, strong, freely? Is the dog not moving freely? They're looking at that at the back end. When you bring the dog back toward the judge, they're looking at it at the front end. Does the dog feet stands under the shoulder, in rotation, straight with the chest out? What is the width of the chest? Okay? Is it a small or narrow dog, or is the chest out? Chest should be out, head should be up. They're looking at the temperament of the dog. These judges was talking about friendly of the dog or whatever, but the judges I came up on the first, they wanted to know, was the dog full temperament? Did the dog bring everything temperament-wise as it relates to being the Rottweiler? Because you can be friendly, but you can be over-friendly. So when they say full temperament, this dog is demonstrating drive, he's demonstrating confidence, he's calm, he's not out of balance. There's no need for a dog to be aggressive and just want to bite everything that it sees. Such a dog is a liability. And then a dog should not be shy where it's running from his shadow. That Rottweiler must be balanced. Great strength, agility, endurance. We're looking at the face. Is it a lot of wrinkles in the face, a lot of meat, a lot of skin, as if it's a massive? When we know this is not a massive, this is a Rottweiler, so we want the skin on the face to be tight or dry, not wet, loose. Because when you get loose skin on the face, you will have, or you will develop throatiness, which is all the skin here. And then because you have throaty in the throat, you're going to have a problem with dewlap, which is the corner of the mouth. The Rottweiler corner of the mouth is tightly fitted. But when you're throaty, right, it causes this side of the mouth to lean open. So now you got two problems. If you got a wet face, you got three problems. You got a wet face, you got throatiness, and you got dewlap. Okay? That's why Russ said what he said to you in the van. Because that dog got all three. Everybody loved her. Hey, they stood in line, breed her, man, I want a puppy. But she is absolutely not correct. She has spade feet, which means her feet is not knuckle and well arched. There's too much space in between. If there's too much spacing in between any breed that is associated either anywhere as a large breed, large working breed, that dog cannot work like that. That feet has to be in such condition strong where it can carry that weight. Yeah. So a lot of people, they look at a dog, oh, that dog big, I want to pup out that dog. What is the structure like? What is the temperament like? Okay. What is the health of the parents like? Were the parents health tested? Was any of them health tested? So you get this big bucky dog with all these wrinkles in the face, and the dog is not a worker. The dog run from here to the side of the road, and it's tired. Yeah. That Rottweiler's supposed to be able to chase you a couple blocks. Just being honest. The Corso's the same way. But people find out, they say, okay, people want these big, sorry, lazy, health problem dogs. So what they do is they say, this is where the money is. So they start breeding for big, slouchy dogs. Yeah. Structure not right, angulation not right, none of that shit is right, health is not right. But they're giving the people what they ask for because the people don't know no better. They just want a big dog.
I got a question. Well, on the other hand, Corey Chapman had a question. He said, what about the white? And I asked him to explain. He said, when you have white on the chest.
Okay.
And I said it wasn't the breed standard. What you say?
Okay, that depends.
Okay.
The white, a lot of people don't know. You have puppies that are born with white in their chest. Some of them so bad till it becomes a patch. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you don't see those puppies the first 2 or 3 weeks, you don't know. Because as the weeks go by,
it could change.
It does change. I've seen some with spots, and you look at them, you say, there's nothing I can do with that. And then at 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you don't see it. But it's carried genetically. The white patch in the chest comes from the Bernese Mountain Dog. That dog is a part of the Rottweiler. It was bred out during wartime because they felt like the white patch was not good for them going in battle at night. So they bred that white patch out. Right now, if you have, when you get ready to show the dog, if you have screens, and say you got 5, 6 screens of white, it's okay. You won't get disqualified for that unless it's a patch.
Okay.
Unless it's a patch. And when that dog gets to about 7 months, 6 or 7 months, and that patch hasn't gone away, it's not going nowhere.
Yeah.
Okay? So that comes from the Bernese Mountain Dog. It has been bred. It should be bred out. Like these really great bloodlines that we have now, they were born, they didn't have a single thing of patch in their chest at all. Kano has produced some puppies with small screens, but as that dog has gotten older, because he had a few, it went away, and you look at his chest now, it's nowhere to be found.
Well, being that I did hear a lot about the tan color on the dog today at the show, when he asked that question, I immediately said, because it's not a breed standard. So that's just it's because I didn't know
that patch is
about
not
the
a
patch
breed
because I never saw it.
And you can get some dogs that a coat are too dark or too light. Mm-hmm. Now, one of the things he said to me was, he said something about the coat being too dark in the muzzle. I don't think so. That's the reason why we get multiple critiques from multiple judges, because they are judged, and the next judge may not necessarily have the full opinion of that judge. So you can't get too stressed out. But too dark, Sometimes people call you'll find dogs Rottweilers that are muddy. They're muddy on the legs, which that color kind of blends in and runs together, and it shouldn't. It should be clear, distinct
between the
tan markings, and those tans can be from a light tan to a dark tan. And this is why AKC says there's tan. Is it tan? Is it rust? Is it mahogany? Because those three colors flow in there, but in Seegers, all of those colors are considered tan, whether it's rich or if it's not rich. Gotcha.
Also, he said that, you know, when you're talking about the pockets and the jaw, I guess, he was saying in bullies, they're called raw jaw.
Okay, raw jaw.
And bullies.
We are supposed to have a cheek feel. The boxer, the Corso, they do not have a cheek feel. The Rottweilers is supposed to have that. There is a lot that is looked at. There is a lot. There are minor flaws. You got to keep in mind that your minor flaws can be bred out of the dog. Right. Your disqualifying faults are the issues that you do not want to breed. Okay? So you have to make a distinction. There is, and a lot of people get it confused. When the judge said excellent, he's not saying perfect. I have yet to see a perfect dog of any breed. So every dog, just like every human being, has its good points and its bad points or its flaws, okay? So be mindful of that. There are certain dogs that look very, very nice, but their temperament is no good, and vice versa. There are certain dogs that look nice, their temperament is good, but their health is not good. They won't be able to pass hips, elbows, heart, eyes. They just don't have that help, that genetic foundation in terms of the health. Any other questions?
Nope, that's it so far.
Any other questions before we get out of here?
A Rock Squad said we're doing. That's great info.
All right, I hope so. So yeah, so that's what we're trying to do. Mecca came in 5th place in the intermediate class, which means she didn't place 1, 2, 3, or 4. But she is V-rated. She's already V-rated 3 times. Today make 4. Tomorrow she should go in the ring and be V-rated her 5th time. I don't know whether she would place or not. But here's why this is her being V-rated is important to me. And it has nothing to do with her getting 1st place, okay? People want 1st place because 1st place is automatically 1 point toward becoming a champion. So people want that V1. They want that spot. They want to be able to say, there were X amount of dogs in the ring. My dog was looked at in comparison to these other dogs, and my dog was the best dog. Okay? Everybody wants that. But here's how I see it. If you are V-rated multiple times, there are multiple judges who do this stuff every day around the world are saying that your dog is excellent and tight. What more can you really ask for? Okay? The second thing is the critique. You should be able to take this critique, what these judges have said, analyze it, and know exactly what type of dog you need to breed to. Okay? You need to breed. If this dog has these weaknesses, you separate and you put these weaknesses over here. This is where my dog can have some improvement at. Now, you're looking for a dog that has that. Right. What they say your dog is missing, you need a dog that got that, but you don't need the dog that got that at the expense of losing the good points that the judge has already given you. And this is why when you read the biography of most judges around the world, I don't care whether in the United States, or Canada, or Germany, Brazil, Australia, wherever you look at them around the world, they don't have a long resume of breeding, because there's no way that you're going to be able to find the perfect match with every female. And these judges, because they do this, they're trying to find the perfect match. You have some judges that have been judges for 30 years, and you look at their resume, they may have bred 10 times. Right. And if you think about that, that's basically 1 time every 3 years. Because they know there's not any male, I don't want to just go pull any male off the shelf to breed with this female. I want to breed a dog to this female that the puppies, when they come out, they're going to be better than the mama and the daddy.
Right.
Or there are going to be puppies in there that's either equal to or greater than the parents. Okay?
Right.
That's the goal, is to breed or produce better dogs every time you breed. So it's not just putting two dogs together. It's a science of studying both dogs and then saying, look, I think that this dog is going to be a perfect match. Making sure that all the health tests and all that stuff is there, and then you match them together. So,
quick question. So, being that I'm still new, when you're talking about breeding, when you have your dog and it's having some slight issues, you want to breed it with somebody that's going to cancel out that issue that your dog has. So, you're looking for something that is not a disqualifying characteristic, right?
any time the dog has a disqualifying fault, and your dog is V-rated, it's not going to be a good match. That's the first thing you got to understand.
Right.
Just don't do it.
Okay.
If that dog has been in the ring and has been disqualified or got the lowest rating possible to stay in the ring, it would not be wise to breed a dog that is V-rated, because what you're doing is you're taking one V-rated dog and you're breeding it to a dog that's substandard.
Lower standard, yeah.
How you going to produce better?
And then too, I think that it takes some time to do some trial and error with that too, because hypothetically speaking, if you get a dog with say their eyes are too light, and then you breed it with a darker eyed dog, that doesn't mean that the eye color is still gonna come out right, because it probably will mean which one of them are most dominant. Is that right?
It is a lot to it. We have always said that the females bring more of the genetic juice. I would tell you that I bred Sultan to Precious. Precious has eyes that are probably could be more darker, and she has some bleeding through, of the coat. The undercoat, Rottweiler does have an undercoat, and it should not show through
Right.
over the top coat. Well, she has that issue.
Okay.
But keep in mind, those are cosmetic issues. So I took a male that meets the standard, in my opinion. He's never been in front of a judge. He has the right eye color. He has the right eye size. Everything about his eye is where it should be at. And then he has a very nice coat. And his undercoat does not bleed through any. And he's about the same age she is. He's about 2.5 years old. We bred them together, and he cleaned up the issues that she had. I don't think we had any puppies that at this point have light eyes. And the eyes, they do set at a certain time. They set at about 4 or 5 months. Whatever eyes you got, that's the eyes that you should have for the duration. So we're really good. We're really comfortable with what we see with the eyes, and we're comfortable with what we see at this point with the coat. He had one client that wanted to purchase a dog off his female, but he wanted it to be a different style. And I told him, no. Why would you breed this dog to get a whole litter of puppies for one client? And you got all these other puppies that you got to get rid of. Why roll the dice with a different dog that you don't know going to clean up this, okay? Than to roll with what you already know going to be solid. And he bred back to it. We got good puppies and put them out. Haven't had any complaints.
Gotcha.
So, any other questions?
So far, I don't see any on the chat.
Hey, if I ain't got no questions, what does it mean? I mean, I did my job. I mean, every time I study, every time I go to shows, every time I listen, every time I pay attention, every time I get in that ring, I'm learning more, more, and more. And as I said, our goal is to travel all over the country and to learn for those who do this all over the world for a living, and take that knowledge, which is universal, which is all over our planet, and bring that knowledge, that great knowledge, right back to Arkansas. Hey, we got to get out of here. We got pizza. We're going to get us something to eat.